Today we're traveling back in time to an era of neon colors, cassette tapes, Saturday morning rituals, and unforgettable theme songs. The 1980s weren't just about fashion, music, and movies, they were also a golden age of animation. Cartoons weren't just entertainment, they were cultural touchstones that defined our childhoods, sparked imaginations, and gave us heroes, villains, and worlds that still hold a place in our hearts today. In this video, we're counting down 10 iconic 80s cartoons that shaped our childhoods. Each one left a lasting impact, whether through groundbreaking animation, unforgettable characters, or the way they became part of our daily lives. From epic battles between good and evil to goofy comedies that had us laughing until our sides hurt, these shows became part of who we were as kids, and they still influence pop culture today. So grab your cereal, sink into your couch, and let's dive into the wonderful world of 80s cartoons. Number 10, Inspector Gadget. Who could forget that bumbling, gadget-filled detective with the iconic catchphrase, "Go, go, Gadget"? Inspector Gadget was a mix of comedy, action, and mystery, following the clumsy inspector who somehow always managed to save the day, thanks mostly to his niece Penny and her trusty dog, Brain. What made Inspector Gadget so iconic was the blend of futuristic gadgets with slapstick humor. It also gave kids a taste of spy adventures, but with a light-hearted twist. Even though Gadget himself was hilariously incompetent, the show carried messages of teamwork, problem-solving, and cleverness, especially through Penny, who was arguably the true hero of the series. The memorable villains, like the ever-elusive Dr. Claw, also gave us some of the most quotable lines in cartoon history. Number 9, The Real Ghostbusters. Based on the blockbuster film, this animated series brought the supernatural world of Ghostbusters straight into our living rooms. Running from 1986 to 1991, The Real Ghostbusters took the beloved characters Egon, Ray, Peter, and Winston and expanded their adventures beyond the movies. The show gave us a deeper dive into the Ghostbusters universe, introducing countless creepy yet creative ghosts and paranormal scenarios. What set it apart was its mix of humor, spookiness, and sci-fi elements, making it just scary enough for kids without crossing the line. Plus, with Slimer as the green, gooey comic relief, it was impossible not to love. This cartoon not only fueled the Ghostbusters craze, but also introduced many kids to supernatural storytelling in a fun way. Number 8, DuckTales. When DuckTales premiered in 1987, it instantly became a favourite for kids everywhere. The adventures of Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie were packed with excitement, comedy, and treasure-hunting escapades. And who can forget the iconic theme song? DuckTales, woo-oo, it's still stuck in our heads decades later. The show stood out because it combined comedy with global adventure. From ancient pyramids to lost civilizations, it felt like a mix of Indiana Jones and Disney magic. DuckTales also introduced us to unforgettable side characters like Launchpad McQuack and the mischievous Beagle Boys. Beyond the fun, DuckTales highlighted the values of family, resourcefulness, and courage, making it more than just a cartoon. It was a full-blown adventure series for kids. Number 7, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Cowabunga dudes! The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles exploded onto the scene in the late 80s, and suddenly every kid wanted to be Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, or Raphael. With their mix of martial arts action, humor, and pizza-loving personalities, the Turtles became an unstoppable force in pop culture. The show gave us iconic villains like Shredder, Krang, and the Foot Clan, and it balanced action with comedy in a way that appealed to both kids and parents. The catchy opening theme, the colourful animation, and the sheer personality of each turtle made the series unforgettable. It also sparked an entire franchise of toys, movies, video games, and more that's still thriving today. The Ninja Turtles weren't just cartoon characters. They were role models for teamwork, friendship, and, of course, pizza appreciation. Number 6, ThunderCats. ThunderCats, ho! Few catchphrases hit as hard as this one. ThunderCats, which premiered in 1985, told the story of Lion-O and his team of heroic feline warriors as they battled the evil sorcerer Mum-Ra. This show was epic in every sense of the word. With its futuristic yet mythical setting, it combined science fiction, fantasy, and superhero elements into one unforgettable package. The animation style was ahead of its time, with dynamic action sequences and stunning character designs. ThunderCats stood out for its themes of courage, leadership, and responsibility. Lion-O, who had to grow into his role as leader, resonated with kids who were themselves navigating the challenges of growing up. Even today, ThunderCats holds a special place in the hearts of 80s kids, and its influence is clear in later fantasy and action cartoons. Number 5. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. In the world of 80s action cartoons, few were bigger than G.I. Joe. This show wasn't just about action figures, it was about epic battles between the heroic G.I. Joes and the villainous Cobra organization. Each episode was filled with thrilling missions, larger-than-life characters, and important life lessons. Who could forget the classic line, "Knowing is half the battle"? The show combined military action with a colourful cast of heroes, from Duke and Snake Eyes to Cobra Commander and Destro. It inspired countless hours of backyard play, where kids recreated the adventures with their G.I. Joe toys. While it glorified action, it also managed to slip in lessons about teamwork, courage, and doing the right thing, ensuring it became more than just a toy commercial. It was a cultural phenomenon. Number 4. Transformers, more than meets the eye. With those 4 words, Transformers captured the imagination of an entire generation. Launched in 1984, this cartoon told the story of the heroic Autobots battling the evil Decepticons, all while disguising themselves as everyday vehicles and machines. The mix of science fiction, action, and incredible toy tie-ins made Transformers one of the most influential franchises of all time. Characters like Optimus Prime and Megatron became legends, embodying ideals of leadership, sacrifice, and determination. The animation, the voice acting, and their epic battles all left kids glued to their screens. Beyond the action, Transformers introduced deep storylines about loyalty, friendship, and even the costs of war. It was an ambitious show that proved cartoons could be more than simple entertainment. They could tell stories with real heart. Number 3. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. By the power of Grayskull. He-Man was perhaps the ultimate 80s hero, wielding his sword to protect Eternia from the evil Skeletor. The show, which debuted in 1983, was larger than life, with its mix of fantasy, magic, and epic battles. He-Man wasn't just about muscle and might, it also carried moral lessons at the end of each episode, teaching kids about bravery, honesty, and kindness. The colourful cast of characters, from Teela and Man-at-Arms to Skeletor's hilarious yet menacing schemes, made the show endlessly entertaining. He-Man also played a huge role in the toy industry, with the figures becoming some of the most popular of the decade. More than just a cartoon, He-Man was a cultural juggernaut that defined what it meant to be a hero in the 80s. Number 2. Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Before Power Rangers, there was Voltron. Premiering in 1984, Voltron brought together 5 pilots who each controlled a robotic lion, which combined to form the mighty Voltron. The show was a mix of Japanese anime and American adaptation, giving it a unique style that stood out from other cartoons of the time. Voltron captured kids' imaginations with its giant robot battles, space adventures, and themes of teamwork and sacrifice. It also tapped into the growing love of anime-style storytelling in the West. With its epic battles against the evil forces of King Zarkon, Voltron gave us excitement, suspense, and some truly unforgettable visuals. It paved the way for future mecha and team-based shows, proving that the 80s were ahead of their time when it came to animated storytelling. And finally, number 1, Smurfs. La 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 la. Who would have thought that little blue creatures living in mushroom houses would become a worldwide phenomenon? The Smurfs, which debuted in 1981, became one of the most beloved cartoons of the decade. With characters like Papa Smurf, Smurfette, Brainy Smurf, and the bumbling villain Gargamel, the show offered humour, adventure, and life lessons, all wrapped up in a whimsical package. What made the Smurfs so iconic was its universality. Kids of all ages could relate to the different Smurfs' personalities, and the stories were simple yet heartfelt. The show ran for nearly a decade, making it one of the longest-running and most successful cartoons of the 80s. More than just a cartoon, the Smurfs became a cultural phenomenon, influencing toys, music, movies, and even language. How many times did you replace a word with Smurf back in the day? And there you have it, 10 iconic 80s cartoons that shaped our childhoods. From bumbling detectives to blue creatures in the forest, from robots in disguise to warriors of Eternia, these shows weren't just entertainment, they were part of growing up. They taught us about teamwork, courage, humour and imagination. And most importantly, they gave us memories that still bring a smile to our faces today. So, which of these cartoons was your favorite? Did you wake up early on Saturdays to catch them, or did you have the toys and lunchboxes that came with them? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your memories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep those childhood memories alive.